You know what? We always knew, didn't we, that UEFA, as a governing body, cared nothing for fans of teams and allowed, let's face it, broadcasting companies to ride roughshod over the needs of fans and supporters alike. Well, we've had further proof today that this is the case. Now, after the UEFA Europa League draw this morning, which obviously caused a great deal of excitement amongst Rangers fans when we drew Portuguese giant Benfica. Obviously, a big game, two of the biggest teams in Europe going head to head on the 7th and the 14th of March in the round of 16 to get into the quarterfinals of the UEFA Europa League, with Rangers fans dreaming of another run to the final, dreaming of Dublin going to Dublin in the final and facing one of those other teams. You know, a Liverpool Rangers final would be quite poetic, with us beating them to get them back for the Champions League would be just perfect, wouldn't it? However, you know what? UEFA have done all they can to really ruin this tie. So, what have UEFA done? I hear you ask. Some of you may have heard the news, some of you may not have heard the news. And I want to get your thoughts, feelings, sentiments on this announcement from UEFA. The club tweeted this out a few hours ago. It said, Rangers, on behalf of our supporters, are disappointed to have learned our round of 16 Europa League home match with Benfica on Thursday, the 14th of March, will kick off at 5:45. Yes, that's right, guys. It's not a typo. It's not a typo. It shouldn't say 7:45. It does say 17:45, 5:45 in the evening. How ridiculous is that, ladies and gentlemen, that a game in England, a game on these shores, should kick off at 5:45. Now, we know why it's being done. It's solely being done because of television commitments and broadcast commitments. That's why the game has been moved, with obviously the host broadcasters wanting to get as many possible games out there as possible and obviously make as much money from getting fans to subscribe to their channels to watch these games. And once again, you know, this is another example of fans coming second again to television companies and to viewing and to television viewers, rather than to people who actually matter, people who turn up to watch their team and support their team at their home stadium. Now, 5:45 on an evening is an utterly ridiculous time for a game in this country. Now, given that most workplaces in this country kick out at 5 o'clock, given that the roads are in turmoil between about 4 and 7 in most major cities, given that traffic never moves, that public transport is ridiculously over crammed at these times as well. Hosting a massive football match in a big city like Glasgow at this time is utterly ridiculous, and again displays just complete disregard for the fan by UEFA. And you know, Rangers are right to condemn this and to have protested to UEFA about this ridiculous decision. You know, Rangers went on to explain. They said basically that they're disappointed in this decision. They said they issued robust arguments with UEFA. The statement read that, Rangers, on behalf of our supporters, are disappointed to have learned our round of 16 Europa League home match will take place at 5:45. Despite a robust case being made to UEFA for the fixture to be played at the traditional 8 o'clock slot, it is instead to begin significantly earlier, primarily due to broadcaster commitments, and thus likely to cause significant inconvenience and disruption to our supporters. The club fully sympathises with our loyal supporters and for additional sacrifices they may need to make to attend the match, with this issue falling totally outside of our control. Now, Rangers, the club, our board, yes, do get condemned, do get in trouble for certain things, but they have nothing to do with this whatsoever. This is purely a UEFA decision. And like I said, and for the reasons I've outlined, for just some of the reasons, there are multiple others, but this is a ridiculous decision by the governing body to play this game at 5:45 in the evening in this country. Absolutely ludicrous. At times you can see why, perhaps, the far further east you go into Russia, into Ukraine, for example. I know you can't play football in Ukraine, but there we go. Ties at 5:45. You can see the point of that due to the time differences between there and Western Europe. That's fine. But with it being in this country, in the United Kingdom, it makes absolutely zero sense. And like I said, transport chaos, public transport chaos, work finish times. It just, fans having to take time off work. It's just ridiculous, absolutely stupid. And also fans travelling as well. Rangers have a vast travelling support that support the club from all over these British Isles. So for them to travel again, it's going to inconvenience them. And again, it is a state of the fact that UEFA have thought nothing about our fans and nothing about our club. It is an outrage, an absolute bloody outrage. So just to outline to you where the ties will take place, for those of you, I know there was a little bit of uncertainty earlier about when the legs will take place and in what order. This is obviously from the Rangers Football Club Twitter account. It says the round of 16 fixtures have been confirmed. Benfica versus Rangers at the Estadio de la Luz, March the 7th at 8 o'clock UK time. Rangers versus Benfica at Ibrox Stadium, March the 14th, 5:45, ridiculous UK time. Club statement, Benfica home. And then that's where the link is to that statement as regards that kickoff time. Guys, I'd love to know what you think. Drop me a comment down below. I'm personally raging. I think this is a ridiculous decision, absolutely stupid decision on behalf of UEFA. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Guys, as always, 2 favors I ask of you on the way out. Number 1, to smash the like, and number 2, to remember, even more important these days, we are the people.